In this video, you are going to be learning about how to hit 900 to 1000 GPM XPM every time as carry, ideally in minute 30 or earlier of every game if you execute it right. Do note that these games are played by my 2K and 2.5K MMR students, so if they are able to learn this, I'm sure most of you will be able to pick it up as well. First, you need to pick a hero that is able to flash farm the ancient triangle path of the map. We are talking about heroes with built-in flash farming ability or heroes that were built into Belfry. Think Sven, Luna, Templar, Medusa for the non-Belfry heroes, and PA, Ursa, Troll, Juggernaut for the Belfry heroes. Now the key to achieving this GPM XPM lies within the first 20 to 30 minutes of your game. The first 20 minutes is spent on farming towards your hero's item timing, meaning in most cases this would be BKB. The next 5 to 10 minutes is spent on grouping with team and using that BKB and huge lead from farm to survive and win fights off every BKB cooldown rotation. If you pair this with Aegis, you should be able to close the game within 30 minutes. For this video, I've selected 3 hero examples, which are 2 non-Belfry heroes, namely Sven and Luna, and 1 Belfry hero, which is Ursa. For each of these heroes, there is an optimal time for them to start farming jungle camps, and an optimal time to start farming the ancient triangle part of the map. As you can see, the time to start thinking about leaving the lane to farm jungle camps would usually be around level 5 to 6, when heroes have more points in their farming abilities. For example, Sven would require at least 3 points in his Greater Cleave, and ideally his ult to flash farm jungle camps, while Luna would require at least 2 points in Moonglaves and Luna Blessing. Ursa on the other hand is typically stronger to sit in lane, especially when he gets 6, but if he gets kicked out early, it would still be best to at least have 3 points in free swipes and 1 point in overpower to farm jungle camps. Note that for both Sven and Luna, their time to start thinking about ancient triangle would be once they hit Mask of Madness, while Ursa would go once he has Belfry. The first example we have here is Sven, played by my 2.5K MMR student. So over here you can see that the player is low in health, right, and has reached level 5. So this is the peak at which Sven can start flash farming jungle camps, that 5.5 to level 6 area, ideally around level 6, unless you're kicked out at 5.5. Since he can no longer do anything to the offlaner and post 4, he will now need to leave the lane to start rotating between the jungle camps and also open lanes. So open lanes would mean any waves that are near the tower, any lanes with waves near the tower, they are safe, or any lanes without threats present in them. So in this case, there are threats present in every lane. There's no open lane, so you can only resort to jungle camps. However, keep in mind that lane pressure and towers are always higher priority than leaving to farm camps or ancient triangle. If you are able to play the lane and even push out the lane and hit the tower, pressure the tower, that would take priority always over jungle camps like this. Okay, so you can see he's still hovering around the jungle camps, and he'll return back to the lane soon once he recovers some health and mana, because he's allowed to farm, considering this is treated as an open lane with the wave under his tower. Now he's just going to have to hit his timing of Mask of Madness for him to start leaving to ancient triangle, provided he cannot play the lane. So in this case, we see he can still play the lane, right? He can still apply pressure, apply the lane pressure, and apply some tower pressure. So that would be the right choice to make. If this guy was like EFK in the jungle camps now, that would be wrong. Or if this guy left to ancient triangle with Mask of Madness, that would also be wrong, because there is no interruption present in his lane. There is no Dawnbreaker or Venomancer standing here trying to push him out. Maybe Venomancer alone is fine, but Dawnbreaker plus Veno probably not. So we are still seeing he's hovering right between the lane, between jungle camps, back and forth, over and over again. He's just gonna basically do this for the next few minutes. So now here comes the question where, okay, I have Mask of Madness. Do I leave to ancient triangle, or do I continue playing the lane? In this case, he would be playing the lane, because remember what we said earlier, it helps that he has a ward here as well, so this ward tells him there's no threats in the lane. This will make this an open lane, so he will go for the wave, maybe play the camp and hit the tower, because there's no threat present in the lane. Yep, something like this, that's good. Okay, suddenly we see a Shadowfiend back at his lane. That will pose some threat to him, so he's forced to play back to jungle camps. But notice he's still hovering around this plus this, provided this is open, plus this, and every now and then he's allowed to go to tower, he's gonna do tower. But if a threat presents in the lane and he's pushed away, then he's just gonna return to stuff like this. But now definitely he should start looking at Ancient Triangle, this path, right? Especially there's a stack here, even more so, and his ult is off cooldown soon, but we still see an open lane, so open lane again takes priority. He will play the wave, and then still see how the lane is still open to him. There's no threats in lane, so instead of coming to all of this, his priority should still be towards the lane. That's why he's staying for a little bit. But now suddenly there is a Dawnbreaker in his lane, so he has to assess whether or not this Dawnbreaker poses a threat to him. In this case, Dawnbreaker is not, because he's like 2 levels ahead of Dawn, and Dawn is not that dangerous to him considering his health is quite high, right? Unless it's Dawnbreaker plus Veno. So of course he doesn't want to waste time interacting with this guy, waste time sitting in lane. That's why he's just gonna go push out the lane, farm the camps, and repeat this over and over again. If this guy was a big threat to him, then definitely he wouldn't even bother coming here to take the farm earlier. Like let's say that's a Doom. Doom just pops an ult and runs him down, he's going to die if a +1 comes. So now he knows, okay, Dawn has left the lane, Dawn is like ganking another lane. Definitely this guy should be going back to the lane, which he's doing, and he's going to push out the lane again, try and do the big camp, attempt the tower pressure if he could. In this case, Shadowfiend came back, so he cannot attempt lane pressure anymore. So he definitely needs to start looking towards the Ancient Triangle anytime soon. Yep, which is where he goes now. Perfect. Okay, and he's gonna start flash farming this with a stack as well. Good. Once you get into the Ancient Triangle area, the farming path will now become the Ancient into the big camp, which is the triangle, right? And then you'll go into the Ancient on the right. Usually you'll pair this with the XP rune as well, if the XP rune is available, so that will boost your XP really high. Normally you look at level 13 by 14 minutes, or better yet, level 14 by 15 minutes. So if you are doing this on the Radiant, that will be here. Ancient into big camp, into the Ancient on the left, and XP rune below. After we are done with this, we are gonna look around whether or not the game timer tells us that it spawns. If it spawns, we will return. Right, like what this guy is doing, he has solved the earlier triangle and the Ancients, so his path went to the bot lane. Let's see that again. Okay, he clears this Ancient, he sees a bot lane that's open, but a Necro is taking it, so he comes for this big camp, which is the closest camp. There's no camp, so he goes for this small camp, and then into a potential lane, but there are threats present in lane. That means he'll go into the closest camp again, and back to the spawn of the triangle and Ancients. So you can see how his level is getting really insane. Of course, here he goes for an open lane TP, because lanes are always priority over jungle camps and Ancients. Remember this. If you're allowed lane pressure, always do lane pressure. Fast forward to 20 minutes. Now this guy has his BKB. So once you hit your BKB, the first thing we want you to be doing is to look at how to group based on how the team moves. So in this case, we can see on the map the team is moving down, right? Team is moving down, so that will mean he also has to move down and start fighting and grouping with the team to abuse the BKB, and also the level lead and farm that he has compared to everyone else. In this case, level 16, the enemy highest is 16 as well, but the rest of them are quite low level, so that's good. That will give him a really good advantage in the fight. We see here how this guy playing forwards gives him such a lead, level 21 into level 13 support. Level 22 now after the kill into level 15 heroes. Level 15 heroes because of how he's using the BKB and the farm he had earlier. So everything should go in his favor now. If you guys are able to execute that first 20 minutes that was shown, you guys get to that BKB early and are able to group with the team and fight, this is how the fight will go for you, right? You'll be really ahead. In the end, you can see how this guy ended up with 850 GPM, 1k XPM, and a really good KDA in 40 minutes, although his game lasted a bit longer than what we were expecting. So I hope you guys can see how the first 20 minutes is extremely important to set up everything in the mid game and late game phase. Every game there's a golden window where you are going to be the strongest if you follow this plan. Right, that'll be around the 18 to 23 minute mark. Without executing the first 20 minutes as clean as possible, it will not be possible to reach this point later on into the game, where you are ahead with a really big lead over everyone else. Let's move on to the next example, which will be Luna. In this second example, played by the same player on Luna, committing to the ancient triangle farming pattern will be a lot more obvious because of the unavailability of open lanes. Here, the Luna is forced to leave the lane because, as similar to the earlier example, he has dropped low and has hit around level 5, right? So with 1 point saved for Glaives, he has leveled it up. So earlier he didn't level Glaive because he'll push out the lane, and he also has 2 points in Luna Blessing. Because he can no longer sit in lane, as he cannot do anything against a strong offlaner like Dragon Knight, he's going to be leaving the jungle camp and spamming open lanes again, like so, right? Return to lane, push out lane, return to jungle camps, farm jungle camps, wait for open lanes. If there are no open lanes, he'll just keep farming the jungle camps until there are open lanes. And then he's gonna do this, repeat this until he hits his Mask of Madness. So we can see it's not really bothering with interacting with the enemy hero in lane because it does nothing. If you can't kill the enemy hero, just push the lane out as soon as you can and leave the jungle. Because any time that you're wasting in lane, you're slowing down your farm for what is potentially to come. Now we're just gonna wait until he gets his Mask of Madness, and then we will see that he's just gonna TP to Ancient Triangle immediately, because the lane will not be available as opposed to the Sven game earlier, because this Dragon Knight did not move anywhere. Okay, we see the courier coming with the Mask of Madness. This is perfect timing. Immediately he TPs down because there are still 2 enemy heroes in his lane that are big dangers to him, right? Pose a big danger to him. So he's gonna start spamming the Ancient Triangle path now. So go from this into this into this. Also guys, when you're farming this, make sure you are looking out for the game timer. Do not miss the stack, because every time you miss out on like an ancient stack, that is equivalent to 1 wave, approximately 1 wave of farm that you're losing out on. So make sure you're looking at the game timer every time you farm. Now he's just gonna be repeating this farming pattern for as long as he can. So he's gonna rotate between the ancient to the big camp to the ancient on the right, until like an open lane is present. So if this top lane starts pushing in, that's where this guy should be TPing soon if he has TP. It should be a very straightforward path, farming really smoothly, right? So in this case we see he has no TP, but the jungle camps are spawning soon, the ancients are spawning soon, so that means he'll be staying, since there's no other path that he can be going to. Again, notice the lane is quite dangerous, so he's not going there. No open lanes are present in the map, but the camps keep spawning, ancient keeps spawning, so he's just gonna stay here for as long as he can. Again, he's just sitting. Okay, now he has TP, then he's going to go top to the open lane for sure. Now, based on what we see on the map, there's a lot of skirmishes going on, a lot of chaotic scenarios. So this gives this guy all the time in the world to just push out the open lane and apply lane pressure. Right, so he's going for the wave. The tower will be quite dangerous, because based on what we saw earlier, the fight was done. So he's just gonna return to the Ancient Triangle, right, and repeat the farming pattern all over again until he gets his Black Kim bar to group. Of course, this is treated as convenience, so he came here trying to pick up some free kills, but there are no free kills, so he's back to Ancient Triangle again. Now I want you guys to see, look at the net worth difference compared to everyone else. This guy is just speed boosting his net worth really fast, and suddenly he's level 17 in 18 minutes. That's pretty insane compared to everyone else. This guy is just free farming all the way. When everyone is like level 10, 12, getting involved in fights, this guy is flash farming, right? Picking up some free kills here and there. And here is another free kill that happened because he was beside the Ancient Triangle. So he's just here to clean up. Not here to fight, but here to clean up. So in 90 minutes, he already has his Black Kim bar and is way ahead of everyone. This will be the time when this guy will start grouping. Just in 24 minutes, we look at the net worth again. We look at how this guy is already grouping with the team and fighting because of the lead he has. And every time he wins a fight, that's more XP and gold going to him. Now it's level 22 compared to everyone else that's really far behind. Okay, so while these guys were spending time fighting, this guy was flash farming. He hit his Black Kim bar and he's ready to go. And the game is ending in like 30 minutes, 25-30 minutes. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Let's move to the last example, which is a battle free hero. Now we have the last example, which is a battle free hero, Ursa. This time it is played by another 2K MMR student, and you'll be able to see the exact same farming pattern once he gets his battle free. Since he's laning into Spectre and Spirit Breaker in the off lane, and the Spirit Breaker is ganking, there is no real threat that can kill him or interrupt his farm in lane, as he has Enrage with full health. So he can keep shoving the lane and farming the jungle camp beside, without having to wait for the wave to push back to him, right? Because most of the time we need to wait for it to come to be safe near our tower. In this case he doesn't, because there's no real threat from Spectre. So you can just push the lane and spam jungle camp, push the lane and spam jungle camp. Do this until he gets his bear free, then he's gonna TP over and start spamming Ancient Triangle again with the bot lane or mid lane along the way. So here he's close to his bear free. He is about 356 gold, bear free is about 450, so he needs about another 100 gold before his courier can send over to him. Right, so he's trying to push out the lane quickly, going to jungle camps. And over here he actually decides to TP down because he sees that there's an open lane that has a lot more farm than waiting for top lane to come. And this is perfect timing because after this he's close to Ancient Triangle. He hits his bear free, which is along the way coming, and he's gonna start spamming Ancient Triangle after that. Right, everything is lining up. Okay, like so. This is really perfect. Wait for spawn, take it again. He'll do this for the next 4 to 5 minutes until he gets Black Kim Bar to start grouping with the team. So I want you guys to notice how fast his level goes up, how high his net worth goes as well compared to everyone else. Okay, he stacks, waits for spawn, take it again, and then he's repeating over and over. Of course, prioritizing the open lane that's near the tower, right? Pushing out that open lane and then returning back to Triangle and Ancient because there's no more open lane present. Stacking as well, really good. This is worth of like almost a double wave. So you guys can see how much XP he got just from one ancient camp, like from 2 ancient camps like this. It's close to half a level. That's why you do not forget about stacking your camps, guys. Your ancients are particularly important to watch the game timer for. Now his net worth will go up and up. He gets BKB, he gets a Morbid Mask, Ursa takes Roshan, Aegis, and he starts grouping, and the game is pretty much done after that. Over here you guys can see how he's already starting to group with the team. He's no longer doing all of these camps and stuff because he has a teammate here, he has a teammate TPing here, he has Aegis plus BKB, all really good survivability factors to allow him to just go straight up, push out the lane, break the tower and start high ground again before 30 minutes. Because of this, he's going to keep getting kills, he will survive his fights because he has Black Kim Bar, he has the added security of Aegis. Right, if you want to close your games without throwing, make sure you have Black Kim Bar and Aegis, otherwise the chances of you throwing will be very high. If you don't have Black Kim Bar or Aegis, try and chill until heroes are dead, or at the very least, get Aegis with Black Kim Bar before you go. Now every time he's just grouping, playing around the team, playing really strong, engaging, initiating with Blink BKB. No longer playing behind, he's actually really strong now, so he has no right to be afraid. That's why all the kills are coming now. His lead is being used. It's being fully utilized to close the game out before 30 minutes. Alright, so I've covered all 3 examples. I've covered 2 non-bear free heroes and 1 bear free hero. Of course, some of you will also be asking, for those heroes that do not depend on bear free or do not have flash farming skills, how do they farm quick? Every hero will have either a way to flash farm Ancient Triangle, or they will just farm jungle camps because they cannot do Ancient. Right? Those heroes are normally the Midas type of heroes, so instead of doing Triangle, most of the time those heroes will just do normal camps and open lanes instead of Ancient Triangle and open lanes. Do note that in every of these games, you can see how their GPM and XPM hover around mid 800 and 1000, with games ending typically within 30 to 35 minutes. If your lead is this huge, it's almost a guarantee that you'll be able to close your games if you use BKB properly. Pair this with Aegis when you attempt high ground, and there's really a very low chance that you can throw the game. I hope this video helps you guys understand how some players can consistently hit 900 to 1000 plus GPM XPM every time. Until next time, see you guys.